Whoa. I didn't see you there. Uh,
What do we
Even
got? What
recording
week is
later
it?
than normal, I still feel like I'm not ready. It's like, oh, it's here. Oh, we're recording. Hi, everybody.
Hey, League.
Let's start looking backwards.
Okay. This is week 10 recap, week 11 preview.
Thank you for doing that. I never think to do that. That's so
But it's
necessary.
great.
Yeah,
10 weeks have gone by.
it is. Yeah, 4 more weeks. So we got
Yeah.
4 weeks left.
Yeah.
Okay, so first, last week, Chris defeats Brandon 111-100.
Right. Right.
Mahoney refusing to go quietly into the night. He gets the win with Kenny Pickett. Stafford's out with a concussion. CeeDee Lamb, second highest game of his career. He missed his high by 2 yards. On the other side, you got Christian Kirk. He had a career high. I don't know. Chris just got it done. Taysom Hill, his 37-point game was 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You keep chasing those points. I think you maybe keep rolling until Njoku's back, and then you switch. I don't know. I don't know what he does.
Well, Chris's highest point total of the season with his starting quarterback on the bench.
Yeah.
He had 104
it
points back in week. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I interrupted. He just takes him a minute to wake up. He's sleepy, but oh boy, he gets going. He's a little tiger.
He's got the Pharisees this week.
Yeah.
One of the hosts of this show last week, I don't remember which one, predicted that Chris, I think, would fall out of the playoffs. And he comes back with a strong win over Brandon. Brandon's points against. Can we look at Brandon's points against for a second here?
Oh, it's sad, isn't it? This is gonna break somebody's heart.
It's actually pretty remarkable. Brandon at 5-5, leading the division, the Running with the Devil division, has 1,158 points against in the first 10 games, which is obviously 115.8 against.
Yeah.
And Mahoney against averages 88 points against him a game.
Tight defense. We play defense in my division. Your division, you guys are the Big 12, whatever. You just throwing it around, nothing. we lock them up here.
Yeah, in fact, the lowest points against in our division, the Dude Abides, has more points against any of the teams in your division.
That's you're just proving my point.
So are you the SEC? Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
you play defense.
Look, we got more wins than any of the other conferences. This is where the winners come to play. Eruption, baby.
Right now, it looks like all 4 teams in your division could make the playoffs.
That would be delightful. Come on, Chris. Come join us.
Okay, he's got the Pharisees this week. Okay, let's keep going.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Okay. Next game. Oh, Aaron defeats Jeremy 120-68. Kind of a recurring theme this week of the bye week replacements coming on through.
Yeah.
When I went with the Bengal heavy build, I chalked up week 10 as a loss. I just thought, but Jeremy just lost by 50 to a team with their 3 best guys on bye. Dude abides are kind of giving me like a TJ Maxx vibe. Like the label says brand name players, but this is a discount. Like the pocket's on the wrong side. There's a button missing. I don't know. You're going to trade away Dalvin Cook. Like you got to get something in return. I feel like Josh is just bamboozling guys left and right, and the cupboard is just looking sparse for the dude.
Yeah, Zeke and Keenan Allen just sitting on his bench. George Kittle isn't getting any looks. It all goes back to the tragic day that this pastor drafted Deshaun Watson to be his future quarterback. That's all I can say.
Taboo. Yeah. I do have a little song ready for Jeremy. So Bengals on bye. Don't have Burrow or Mixon. Oh, if you want to sing along when we get to F word, can we rewind? There's some sing-along parts in this, and you're gonna know it when you hear it. So like Josh on the Peloton, Chad sitting on the toilet, Brandon, you guys, when you get to your parts, you'll know them. Sing along. So
okay.
Here we go. Bengals on bye. Don't have Burrow or Mixon. No T. Higgins going long. Don't even have Jets. No Zach or Garrett Wilson. wondering where points will come from. Man, I started singing way too low. Bids, winning bids, winning Slayton, Cole Komet, Cole Komet. Dude, can't abide.
Bum, bum, bum.
Daniel Jones is just too good.
Too good. Too good. Too good.
Dude, starting guys.
Ba, ba, ba.
Just a bunch of Peckerwoods. Oh no. Man, this recording is off the rails. I'm so sorry. Let's get it together.
My cheeks hurt because I was too good. I could try to figure out a way to splice out some of the other the things in that video to try it again, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm capable of that. So they're just getting
No, my hands are shaking. We got to keep going.
Okay, let's go.
Jeff defeats Jay 108-99. This was really exciting. Like Jay comes in down 51. He needs Goddard's and Hurts to get the win. Jay made a game of it. I'm sure when opening drive, Hurts gets the running touchdown.
Right.
Goddard catches a touchdown on the next one. Jeff had to, at that point think, oh God, it's over. You paint your picture there. I don't know how confident Jay was at that point, but boy, it looked like it was going to be enough. But man, the Rhinos just took care of business.
And great defense in the second half by the Commanders. They just kept the ball away from Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. And I thought after the Goddard touchdown that, of course, I was like, well, Jay's done it. This is the moment that Jay propels himself to the playoffs. And then by the end of the game, his top 5 tight end is hurt.
And
it's like, oh, Jay is absolutely skunked, man. I feel awful for him because I always like Jay's team, but it just doesn't seem like it's going to happen. 2-8 doesn't seem of like a viable playoff team.
No, and I don't know. There's no path at this point. I don't think mathematically, I don't think he can do it. With Jeff, it's just the Mahomes show and then this rotating cast of helpers.
Yeah.
This week it was Donta Foreman, special guest in the end zone, Dalton Schultz.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had some J notes. Dalvin Cook really kicked ass. He looked really fast on the 81-yard touchdown. Obviously, Amon-Ra, the God's Sun God St. Brown. Whenever he's healthy enough to play, that guy just takes over. But I don't know how it'll play out. He's a volume guy when Jameson Williams gets there, but I don't know if you can coexist with Jared Goff. But yeah, Jay, it's sad. It's sad. It looks like it's over for him this season.
Well, the Rams won the Super Bowl last year, and they've just been riddled with injuries.
Yeah.
And just have like snake bit all season long. And the way that has paralleled our fantasy football universe with Jay seems to be the week that the Rams lose Cup is the week that and looks like their playoff hopes are just kind of kaput. It seems like the same thing happened to Jay. Interesting.
I like that. It's an equal parallel. Chad defeats Josh. This was kind of a shocker. 122-112. Not a shocker to Chad. He believes. Real bummer for Josh to squander a 51-point quarterback game. The running backs let him down for once. It was Derrick Henry's worst game of the year. It was Chubb's second worst. Really, I mean, low odds that those two guys are going to be down on the same week. Fields has been over 50 the last 2 weeks. Like, I don't know how sustainable that is. Man, that's exciting when he's out there playing.
He's a top 3 quarterback right now that I want to watch when he's playing football. And if you were to tell Josh before the game, hey, you're going to get 52 out of Fields and 20 out of the Vikings.
Right.
You got to feel like Josh should feel like he's taking that win to the bank.
He's cashing the check at that point.
Yeah.
Oh, Chad had other ideas. I guess he's going to keep rolling with the Dolphin running game so long as it's working. Like, that seems like a tightrope you're just waiting to fall. Devonta Adams has been on fire ever since he walloped that cameraman. So is Justin Jefferson. Like, they're both really rolling.
Yeah, they are, man. Justin Jefferson, 193 receiving yards and a touchdown, and obviously the catch of the year that everyone's seen. It's amazing. So it's amazing. Yeah. Looking forward to seeing who Chad might play this week. We'll see.
Yeah. And okay. John defeats John. Oh, which one? Pharisees beat the Hellhounds 90-88. What a game. Middendorf retains control of the name John. Finally gets his first win since September. He does it with Lamar Jackson on the bye. As much as we poop on Lamar Jackson, he's like 5th in average points per game. So I didn't give True John enough credit going into this. The Hellhounds, they got their kind of new normal from Tua, but everybody else just underperformed. No touchdowns from his skill guys. No. I don't know. I feel like I called the Godwin TD last week, calling him out. Now he's scoring.
Yeah.
James Conner comes back from Fantasy Dead, and he carries True John to victory over False John. Best game of the season for him.
Okay, I can tell this story because John is doesn't watch the real John, the true John doesn't watch the episodes. We're pretty certain about that because he's never referenced that to me in any of the times that we've talked about fantasy football or just in life in general. He's never mentioned that this show exists. So we know that he's not watching it. Otherwise, he would talk about it. Maybe he'll watch this week though at 2-8. It's easier to watch after you win than after you lose.
It feels good.
So the Packers game was a game that should not have gone into overtime. The Cowboys were up 14 in the fourth quarter, and obviously Packers come back and they get that game to overtime. Lazard was an active player, and Middendorf was down. I think it was like 17 yards he needed in overtime. And Lazard from the right side of the field just does a slant in. Rodgers hits him for the 27 yards. And during board meeting, I'm very focused on the Lord and the relationships building around the room while also maintaining a solid eye on the games, my phone, right? So over here. Yes. And I immediately text John, Lazard wins it for the Pharisees, all caps, multiple texts right in a row. Yeah. And John's in the very serious. And I see during a moment when he can look at his phone, biggest smile I've seen out of the year from him, man. He just his heart swelled with the pride of fantasy win in overtime. That looked like he was dead. There's no way he could come back an overtime win. There's nothing quite like a win in fantasy when you just know that you really don't deserve it. It just feels like the great pride. Great.
Yeah, when you've stolen one and you can just give everybody the middle finger because you get that W. Yeah, that's a great
fantastic.
Feeling. Yeah. This was our game of the week. Jason beat Shane 95-80. Top 2 scoring teams in the league, but didn't quite live up to the hype. Both teams just well below the average. Now you were both under 100 this week, and you're still both the only 2 teams over 1,100. Yeah. So even with a down week, you're still ahead of everybody.
Right.
Kind of a weird Ofer situation where he has Judy get hurt, you have Cup gets hurt. It's like you just canceled each other out. And I'm sure if you would ask Shane before the game, like, hey, you lose Judy, hey, he loses Cup, you take that deal. He's saying yes before you can even finish. Yes.
Right. I was not confident going into the Monday night game when he had Miles Sanders and Brown minus the 14 points, and I had the Eagles. But on the first catch, AJ Brown tweaks his hamstring a little bit, and just was never the same. I just don't think he was out there, but he was not the player that scored, 33 points against you and 3 touchdowns. I believe that was 2 weeks ago, maybe 3. So
that one stung.
Feels good to be Shane. I can't wait till I get to dress up as an Edmund Memorial Bulldog in full uniform and go through the warm-ups, making some layups. I just can't wait. We'll let everybody know the date of that later.
Yeah, we're all going to be at that game.
Thanks, Shane.
On your side, like Kelsey, he's dependable like me getting diarrhea after a spicy Chick-fil-A sandwich. That guy, he's head and shoulders above all the other tight ends. It's wild. What else did I have? I feel like Shane shouldn't sweat this much. It's hard to imagine AJ Brown ever doing this, like being down like this again. Yeah. And he's got the playoff spot locked up. I bet Shane wishes like real life he could just rest all these guys. Just 100%.
I've seen Shane do this in 6A basketball when he's got everything locked up. He's got a second half, and he'll play like a third string point guard because he knows he's going to need them in the playoffs. I've seen him do this. This is just right up his alley where he's like, you know what? I'm going to need some players that I need in the playoffs to rely on. And I'm going to show them I trust them now. It's in the playbook, man. It's in the gold ball playbook.
He's just playing chess with all of us. All right. Well, congrats on being the first owner this season to beat off a lot. Playoff talk. Running with the Devil division is real tight. Brandon and Jason tied at 5 wins with Carr's only one back at 4. So you guys are, man, very possible this division only sends one team to the playoffs. Win the division and you're out. It's in the cards. So it's going to be really fun these last 3 weeks of the season where you guys are all playing each other head to head. Final regular season week is Jason versus Brandon. So that one could be a lot of fun.
Oh man, you have to fly out for that one.
I got water on my glasses. The Eruption division, it's almost as tight. We got Jeff in the lead with 8 wins. He's got the wild card locked up. Cobras are 1 back. Ghosts are only 2 back. Chris kept the wild card hopes alive with the win over Brandon's. 25 wins for this division. That's pretty sexy. Yeah. Shane is just locked up hot for teacher, but Rompers and Hellhounds both have 4 wins. They're still alive for wild cards. Cannot afford any more losses, and just like the other divisions, they're going to be playing each other those last 3 weeks. So really just over for the Vipers, but everybody else fighting.
Those games...
I have an announcement. Sorry.
No, those games, when they match up to head, obviously one team's going to get a win, but you're going to give an opponent in your division a loss. They're huge.
Yeah,
it's going to be great.
I like it the way everybody's at the end.
Yeah.
Commissioner Lahan asked me to tell everybody the trade deadline is December 11th. So consider yourselves notified.
Okay.
You want to talk about any picks, trades, waivers?
Yeah, I thought today's waivers, recording this a day late, I thought today's waivers were great. Somebody dropped Christian Watson. I don't know who it was.
Fool.
Somebody dropped Christian Watson. And I want to go through the bids. I love it when this happens. So in the waiver wire this week, we had bids for Christian Watson 15, 17, 25, 25, 28, and 50. And the winning bid was 51. 7 of 12 teams bid on Christian Watson. And the 51 was $1 more than 50. I would like to know if anybody would like to share who the $50 bid was, but we know that there are 12 teams in the league, 11 active waiver wire teams. And then out of those 11, 7 of the 11 bid on Christian Watson. I thought that was amazing. Yeah. And there's other things to talk about, but that to me was a noteworthy waiver wire message before we head to the week ahead.
I'd like to announce Gabriel Davis is available for a comparable running back. If anybody wants to get a receiver, come talk to me.
All
right, let's look ahead next week.
Okay, I do want to do picks. I do want to do picks.
Yeah, picks. Go ahead.
We haven't done picks in a couple of weeks. And
is that still going on?
Yeah, the picks contest is still live. Jay still leads he's 2 wins over. He leads by 2 games over the Ghosts and by 5 games over the Cobras. Jay does not have it locked up, but his consistency is interesting. But Jay continually has differing picks than the whole, and it's interesting. I maybe we need to interview him. I'd like to interview him about what he's doing because he's not lockstep with everybody else, and it's led him to a two game lead.
He knows when to hold him and when to fold him, walk away. Chris plays John this week. True John. It's been a disappointing year for both teams, but Pharisees coming off a win, Mahoney coming off a win, winner of 2 of his last 3. One of these 2 teams is going to be on an actual win streak. So, somebody's going to have a little hip in their step here coming into Thanksgiving. I kind of like Pickett more than Stafford, but man, that is a low bar. Stafford wasn't great with Cup. I don't know. The Bengals' best defensive back is out, so maybe Kenny Pickett can get some passes. But I think True John gets the loss here. I was all set to go John, but the force is telling me it's Chris by a hair. I'm going Lahan.
Oh man, I'll take the Pharisees. Lamar Jackson's due for one of those 60-point games where you're just like, that's what you're looking for when you're starting him. You're not looking for the 17-point weeks. You're looking for the 56-pointer. So I'll take John, but at the risk of the fantasy gods not liking me, I look at these 2 teams and it looks like relegation for one of them. I mean, I don't see too many blue chippers out there on these 2 teams.
The
And
rosters are barren.
but you know what? Josh Jacobs and CeeDee Lamb, we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see.
there's,
But I'll take Lamar Jackson this week.
yeah. Next up, Aaron versus Jay. I'm not going to be surprised if Jay outscores me at a couple positions, like if Hurts or Dalvin Cook, Sun God, Amon Ra. They could get big, but I think I get the edge at depth. I feel like across the board, especially now with Goddard out. What a blow to Jay. That's his weekly devastating injury.
Yeah.
I don't know why the Dallas defense isn't any good anymore, but I'm going to keep riding them. Say Cobras for the win.
Okay, I'm taking the Cobras too. My only comment is that I love the name of Jay's new tight end. His name is Trey McKitty, and I love it. I mean, as someone who owns the Chargers quarterback, I thought I would have been more aware, but I think that they just keep running out of players to throw the ball to, the Chargers. But
So
I just, what's it? He's got, look at this all name team that the Gridiron Vipers have. He has Amon-Ra St. Brown and Trey McKitty back to back. And that's an all name team. I'm not going to take him to win, but he's won the all name team this week for sure.
I'm just thinking how sweet one of those powder blue jerseys would look like with McKitty on the back. Sign me up. That sounds awesome.
Sick jersey. That is so great.
Yeah.
I care about football cards. I now I'm going to be looking for me a Trey McKitty jersey or signed something, because that's an incredible name.
That's fun. Jeff plays Brandon. I'm sorry, you have something better to do?
Well, no. I was going to try to see if I just to pull the first card. This is a Shea Gilgeous-Alexander rookie card from that NBA hoop set. Just going back here and see what's the first card I could find. So pretty happy with
year.
Shay's having a good year.
Yeah. All right. Jeff plays Brandon.
Good game.
Brandon better hope Kyler is healthy enough to play, because Mr. 3 good quarterbacks is down to Mr. One-legged Kyler. I don't think it's gonna matter though. I think Jeff's gonna overpower Brandon like Lincoln Hawk and over the top. Like Mahomes takes the field, Jeff turns the cap around backwards, so he's the diesel, and he just breaks Brandon's arm off. Like Tyreek will not be meeting Brandon halfway across the sky. He's on bye this week. I don't understand what the 49ers are doing with McCaffrey. Doesn't matter. The DK Metcalf's going to be on the bench. Jeff's going to throw out a couple of JV wide receivers. It's not going to matter. Jeff's going to win this.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill on bye, and he's relying on Marcus Mariota to quarterback his team. I think it's a loss for Brandon. I look at Jeff's team, and you're just like, it's a great team, man. It looks good. It looks balanced. And the Pats look so good on defense. I'm impressed. Once again, I'm impressed with Jeff's team and the number one defense. I mean, they scored 38 points last time, but they have some game winning sorts of games. So I don't even think he's going to need it. No Tyreek and no quarterback for Brandon. I mean, I think that Brandon goes to under 500 after this week, going to 5-6.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough week for him. Yeah. Next up, we got John and Jeremy. False John and Jeremy. Both teams 4-6, both coming off just disappointing losses. Both like desperately needing this win if they're going to make the playoffs. John has to turn back to Kirk Cousins with Tua Tagovailoa on the bench. Like he's got no Waddle. John is vulnerable this week, but is Jeremy up to the task? Which, by the way, nice scheduling. Like I think he greased Commissioner Lahan's palm to get this cheese schedule. He plays me without Burrow last week. Now John with no Tua. What's happening here? I'm not looking for a lot of points from the Hellhounds, but there's enough firepower. The dude's not going to be able to take advantage of it. See a win for the Hounds.
The dude right now has Keenan Allen and Ezekiel Elliott both in his lineup. John has traded himself into such a good team with good depth that even with Tua and ETN and Waddle all on bye, I think he's got a better team. I think he's going to win. And Deshaun Watson, the cloud of Deshaun Watson just hovers over the dude abides just once again for week 11.
Like that getting the peanuts with the cloud. All right, next up, we got your game. We got Chad versus Jason. Both guys coming off a win following losing streaks. Jason 5-5, Chad 4-6. both teams needing a win. Chad's a little more desperate at this point. Jason, you got one more win. The division's still in reach.
Yeah.
That one win could be real important tiebreaker, in a couple of weeks if you guys are vying for spots. I think the road to the playoffs gets harder for Chad, though. I think Jason's going to squeak out the win.
I think I'm going to win too. My only concern is that Brady's on bye. And if we've noticed anything in the past few weeks, it's that when your best player's on bye, these backups have risen to the occasion and led teams to win after win. So we all know in this league, Tom Brady's not a winner. And so maybe this is the week that Chad pulls out a win because he's got Brady on the bench. That's my big concern.
Oh, wow. It's a big shot there.
I have one of those weeks again where I've got a Thursday, a Sunday morning, a Sunday afternoon, a Sunday night, and a Monday night. I've got somebody going in all 5 time slots, which to me is the dream. You've got somebody playing in every
you're always
I love that. You're being tortured for 5 straight days. So it's fantastic.
It's too bad Cooper Kupp got hurt. I know, obviously, boo-hoo, but this could have been the best wide receiver matchup in league history.
Yeah.
Right? We could have had Kupp and Diggs on one side, Jefferson and Adams on the other. That's rare to have 4 dudes in a game, but
yeah. I was looking at that too last week. I was thinking, man, especially with Diggs and Jefferson on either side of the aisle because they were trading for one another. History. Yeah, that was pretty fun. Yeah. Reminds me of this last week's Monday night game when the Washington Commanders at about, 500 were fighting against the undefeated Philadelphia, Eagles, and how they took him down a notch. That's how I how our game played out. So I like when real-time fantasy comes into play with real actual life. So that's always fun for me. So
it makes it feel like it's real.
Yeah.
All right. Last one.
I think I'm going to win. So yeah.
One more game? I almost thought you were picking against yourself there. It sounded like you were shading.
Okay. No. I'm taking the kid.
That's not like you. Okay. Yeah. Josh versus Shane. Game of the week?
Yeah, it is.
Even though Shane and Josh were both sucky losers, they still belong here in the game of the week slot. Big game here between the Ghosts and the Sweat Sox. Doesn't mean much for the playoffs. They're both, Shane's in for sure. Josh is one or two wins away. They're both in. They're both lighting up the scoreboard this season.
Yeah.
Really epic running back battle with the Henry and Chubb, Kamara, Saquon, Sanders. Josh has the edge, but not the usual gulf that he has over other teams at running back.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Shane comes out. I think he gets an early lead, and I think Josh chases and just doesn't quite catch him. I think Shane gets back on the win streak.
Thought you were going to take Josh because I'm not going to bet against Josh Allen 2 weeks. I can't bet against Josh Allen. Okay, yeah. Since you took Shane, I'm going to take Justin Fields again. 2 50-point weeks in a row. Josh has built a great team of depth. I'll take Justin Fields and the Ghosts to upset Shane.
Okay.
So
that's exciting.
You changed my pick. But it's be super interesting to see what happens. I can't wait. It's going to be a great week ahead.
It's very exciting. Thanks everybody for watching this long. It's felt like we went a really long time.
I'm going to quit this. I'm going to stop right now.